when we work on the posture up here truly begins down here to pelvis. So oftentimes if we don't have good awareness of our pelvic mobility, that's going to affect this up here. So we're going to begin on our backs, and I actually like to begin today lying on the foam roller. So take your foam roller vertically so that the spine goes on the foam roller. Knees will be bent. Head and pelvis both supported. Feel your feet on the floor. Feet are about hip distance. Really push your feet into the floor for a little bit of stability. And as you push your feet into the floor, you'll even feel the pelvis roll a little bit. And then your arms can come down by your sides. If you feel stable and comfortable, allow the palms to turn up. If you feel like you need a little additional support, turn the palms down. And now let's begin at the pelvis. You'll be able to feel with initiating the movement here, you'll feel that movement all the way up the chain. So to begin, tip the pelvis towards your heels and feel how you slide down towards your heels and you get more arch in the back. Then now tip the pelvis towards the head, feel the low back flatten and feel yourself glide up a little bit. And just move from forward or anterior tilt to backward or posterior tilt a couple of times. And just feel the ripple from the pelvis all the way up the spine. A couple more rounds, tipping the pelvis forward, tipping the pelvis back, tipping the pelvis forward, and then tipping the pelvis back. And just come to find stillness for a second, and then just feel the spine dropping into the foam. Let go of any efforting, and feel gravity just dropping you down. Take a few breaths, feeling the weight of your spine right along the foam. And now let's come up the spine a bit. Let's come to the shoulder blades, where the shoulder blades rest on the rib cage. Now we'll use the breath and shoulder blade movement to affect that, what people think of as posture from here up. So inhale, glide the shoulder blades up towards the ears, and then exhale, glide the shoulder blades towards the feet. Do that a few times, feeling how the shoulder blades move along the sides, or like the gutters of the foam roller. This is a really easy place to start addressing the posture. It's nice to use the foam roller to start to feel the midline orientation of the spine on the foam, as well as to get a little stability or balance to cultivate a tiny bit of core stabilization. And now let the shoulder blades drop back along the foam like you're pinching or hugging the foam with your shoulder blades. And then as much as you pull back, equally round the shoulder blades forward. And then let the shoulder blades drop back. And then equally round the shoulder blades forward. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale as you broaden the chest and pinch the shoulder blades. And then exhale as you round and actually feel the chest hollow out and collapse. Notice if you feel other parts of the spine moving. Can you isolate this motion just to the shoulder blades moving on the rib cage? And then relax. Take a couple deep breaths, exhaling through the mouth. And then now let's keep moving up the chain as far as posture goes. And let's come right to the head. So now tuck the chin towards the throat so that you lengthen out the back of the head. And then lift the chin up towards the sky. And now let's see how moving the chin, tucking it and lifting it, affects the entire spine. So driving the spinal movement or the postural movement with the head now. Chin tucks, lengthening out the back of the neck, and then chin lifts. When our head is forward in space, it's going to, like a leaning tower, it's going to pull everything forward. So as you tuck the chin, feel the head push back into the foam. Maybe even hold it there for about 5 seconds with that double chin sensation. And then release. Let's do that about 5 more times. Tucking the chin, and as you tuck the chin, hold it there. Notice what happens along the rest of the spine. If there's the tendency to move the rest of the spine, can you maintain the spine in neutral as you lengthen out the head, like someone's pulling you from the crown of the head? And then release. Again. Keep breathing. 2 more times. Tuck and hold about 5 seconds. And release. Last time. Tuck. Push the whole back of the head down into the foam. Feel the length of the spine along the foam. And then release. Now just to relax, roll to the side, come off the foam, lie completely on your back. Just take a moment to arrive in support, letting the entire body relax. No need to hold yourself up. Soften the jaw. So notice if you're clenching in the teeth or the jaw. Release the bottom jaw and the bottom lip so there's a little space between the teeth. And then just take a couple deep, feeling, relaxing breaths, exhaling through the mouth. And then we'll reposition our foam roller. So bend your knees now and take the foam roller the opposite direction. So it's horizontal or perpendicular to your body. Lift the hips and place the foam roller under the hips. And let's just pause in the supported bridge. And this, we're really just doing a positional release here. We're just reversing that hip flexion that we spend a lot of time in when we're sitting by lengthening the front of the hips. When the front of our hips become tight, then it pulls our low back into extension, and then to create balance to that, the thoracic spine or the upper spine starts to round. So all of the curves become bigger. So now what we're doing, we're just lengthening out the curves of the spine. So stay right here. And if it feels good, maybe extend one leg. And if that still feels good on the spine, maybe extend the other leg. If when two legs extend, it feels like there's a little strain in the low back, let's just do one leg. And you can always switch sides. Let me know if you have any questions. So the foam roller is along the pelvis, so right under the sacrum. If the foam roller feels like too much, you could put yourself up on a block or a couple books. That's another option. So one leg bent or both legs straight. And then if that feels good, maybe you take your arms up overhead. When the arms come up overhead, are you able to interlace the elbows? So hand to opposite elbow. And then send your breath into the side body. So breathe wide into your ribs like you're breathing into an accordion. Flaring the breath in the side to side direction. And here we're in a gentle inversion to just letting gravity help reverse that curve. So with our head and shoulders down towards the ground, we're just letting gravity do the work to pour any tension or weight from the shoulders back towards the floor, rather than trying to hold ourselves up. Take about 3 more breaths here. And then if your knees are straight, bend the knees again. Bring the arms down by your sides. And now find your set of therapy balls. We're going to integrate the therapy balls into this position. So try to move as little as possible. Keep your balls in your tote, so connected to start. And we're going to bring them right under the middle of your back. So you should be able to reach your hand behind your back and place them just under the shoulder blade level. And I love to do this roll with the foam under my hips, because then I can really get into the space between my shoulder blades without having to hold myself up. So here now, take the arms and hug yourself like you're trying to touch the inside borders of your shoulder blades. And now you're just going to use the feet to roll up and down in the mid-back, in that space between the shoulder blades. Starting right at the base of the neck, so the very beginning of the thoracic spine, so T1, the first rib, and then moving down towards the angle of the shoulder blade and all the way down to the bottom corner of the shoulder blade. Using the feet with your hips resting on the foam, just slide yourself up and down. So you're using as little effort as possible to do this. So using as little energy as possible, placing the hips up on the foam. If the rolling feels too much, you can just lie here. And Thomas, just so you know, I do record these sessions, so if you'd like a video recording of the session, I'm happy to send it to you. Awesome. Yeah. Then you don't have to worry about remembering anything. So just take your time and sort of just feel it, and then you'll be able to do this as much as you want, and practice will make perfect. Don't try to think about getting everything right to begin with. Just kind of like feel what your body's asking for. If it likes the roll, roll. If the foam under your hips doesn't feel great, just let your hips come down, and maybe you just rock side to side. There are plenty of variations. And what's so great about this work is that you get to do the work. You get to be your teacher, so that you learn to listen to your body better. You learn to listen to what you need, and you'll start to feel how your movements change, to feel what you're looking for. So now, actually, let's everybody come off of the foam for a minute. Bring your hips down, just roll the foam under your knees. And then take the balls out from the mid-back. And so just stay on your back, lie there, and take your balls out of the toes. So now the balls are separate. So we just got into the thoracic spine, that space between the shoulder blades. And now what we'll do is we're going to take the balls out of the toes so that they come a little wider. So now they're not against the spine, but they're against the edges of the shoulder blades. And now, just as you moved your shoulder blades along the foam, you can move your shoulder blades along the balls. So this is going to get right into the edges of the shoulder blades. And if you like, you can even leave your foam under your knees and let the knees relax. It's totally up to you. And just as you moved the shoulder blades a little while ago, just start by gliding the shoulder blades up and down over your balls. So therapy balls are right at the inside edge of the shoulder blade. So off the shoulder blade, in the mid-back, right at the edge where the muscles from the spine attach to the shoulder blades. And just do a few shrugs of your shoulders. So a really important thing here is to learn how to move the shoulder blades separately from moving the thoracic spine. So we first mobilize the thoracic spine. Now we're mobilizing the shoulder blades on the thoracic spine. And then maybe just slide down a little bit. If you were towards the bottom corners of the shoulder blades, maybe slide down so the balls slide up. So now you're getting the upper half of the shoulder blades, exploring that edge and just feeling where your body is asking it to go. So you're seeking out information from the sensations of the body. The body is going to tell you exactly what it needs. And now lift the arms up towards the sky. And with the balls right at the edge of your shoulder blade, kind of like a puppet, the hands are going to be pulled up towards the sky, so the shoulder blades broaden. And then drop the shoulder blades back towards the floor so they sink down around the therapy balls. So now you're broadening the upper back as you reach the hands up towards the sky. And then you're sinking the shoulder blades back down towards the floor so the shoulder blades wrap around your therapy balls. Do that a few more times. Reach. And then feel the shoulder blades just sink. And watch my arms. If you feel like you're using your elbows a lot, my elbows are not moving. I'm just moving the shoulder blades along the rib cage. Shoulder blades along the rib cage. Shoulder blades are on the rib cage. Couple more times, one breath per motion here. And then let's add on a little bit more. Now we'll let our arms go in opposite directions. So one arm reaches up overhead as the other reaches down towards your feet. So scissoring the arms. Inhale and reach long. Connect your breath, because breath has a huge role in posture. And then as you exhale, your arms almost float up and then switch. And now on the inhale, reach long in opposite directions. Feel the activation of the arms and the length in your side body. And then as you let go of that efforting and exhale, it's almost like your arms float up. Let's do that a few more times on each side to your own breath. And oftentimes these are motions that are done on the foam roller. And I kind of use the foam roller to orient us to this, but then we're able to mobilize our edges a lot better. Get into those connections of the myofascial tissues and the borders of the bones so that things move better when we use the balls. So I like this foam as a preparatory tool, but you're gonna get a better mobilization of the shoulder blades on the rib cage here. But if this is too intense, the foam is a great alternative to this. Last time on each side, reaching long and then switching and then reaching long and then switching. And then let the arms come down by your sides. One more round of movement here. This time you're going to take the arms like a snow angel up and around overhead. Repositioning the balls along the borders of the shoulder blades is necessary to find that just right spot for you. And if you feel like you're scrunching your shoulders up towards the ears, bend the elbows a little bit so that your arms are a little bit bent the whole time. Because I don't want you hyperextending the elbows and scrunching the shoulders up towards the ears. The arms are really relaxed. Feel like you're moving the arms through water. Totally supported on the ground, only going to where you feel a point of resistance. You don't have to go all the way. And if you find yourself really efforting, you can just pause and hold your arms wherever you are and just breathe. The most important part of all this work is to just breathe. Take about 3 more full inhales and exhales. Wherever you are, whether you're moving through motion or whether you're pausing and sustaining pressure and compression on the edge and a tender point of the scapula. There's no right way. The only right way is to listen to the body. What is your body asking for right now in this moment? How can you be a student of your body? And now I had everybody leave their foam rollers under their knees. So hopefully everybody's foam rollers still under your knees, because now right from that scapula border, just scoot down so that the balls come right into the meaty part of the upper trap. So now you're in that meaty part of the upper trap. And you might not feel much. It should just kind of bulk up that tissue, that soft tissue, right at the L between the neck and the shoulder. As if you were to squeeze the bulk on the top of your shoulder, that's exactly where you want the ball. Now, you might not feel much, but now lift the hips up onto the foam roller. And once you lift the hips up on the foam roller, then you'll feel increased weight, increased compression into the upper traps. You can stay here, and arms can be by your sides, or arms can come overhead. Now, not interlacing elbows, but reaching the arms more like a circle or a sun, so that one hand's kind of rested on top of the other above your head. You'll feel even more compression here. And wherever you are, arms down or up, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. If your arms are up overhead, maybe reach the arms straight now so that you're really compressing under the balls, squishing into the ball. Holding that for about 5 seconds. And then release. Let's do that again. Squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. Hold. And then release. One more time. Squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. And then release. Let your arms come down by your sides all the way. Slide your foam roller out now, but keep the balls right where they are. We're going to now make this a dynamic action, and you can do it whether you have the therapy balls or not. If it's too much with the therapy balls, still do the motion. So lying on your back, hands by your sides, press into your feet and lift your hips so that you shift your weight into the therapy balls. Now, reach the arms up overhead, keeping your hips high. So press the backs of the hands into the floor above your head. Now keep the arms up there stretching long as you roll the spine down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, sacrum. Arms still reaching long. Breathe in and exhale, bring the arms down. We'll do that a few more times. So lift the hips up. Arms up. Keep the arms pressing up and into the floor so that you're engaging the backs of the shoulders, but roll the spine down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Keep the arms reaching. You should feel the backs of the shoulders working and then come down. Let's do that 3 more times on your own pace. So hips lift up, arms lift up, hips roll down. You can do this with or without your therapy balls, and then arms come down. So now we're integrating that hip extension, spinal extension, shoulder elevation and arm flexion, stretching of the side body, and then integrating the spine by rolling down, keeping the backs of your shoulders engaged, using your core. 2 more times. This is one of my favorite actions right here. You get a little rolling, a little strength, really getting all the postural muscles working. Last time. Hips, arms, hips, and arms. Really beautiful. Remove the balls, lie flat onto your back. Rest for a minute, feel your body sink into the floor. Let go of any efforting. Feel the weight of your shoulder blades now. So we just utilized a little postural strength. I want to do a little bit more postural strength with our neck. Remember I said the neck is really important in the postural control. You can use a therapy ball under your chin, but if this is difficult, you could, or you don't have one, you can also roll up a towel, like a hand towel can come right underneath the chin. And I would suggest bending the knees for this so that the low back stays still and you're getting slight abdominal activation as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tuck the chin towards the throat, compressing the ball into the throat. Now we're going to just barely hover the head off of the floor. Pressing the chin in towards the throat, keeping the ball there. Just like a quarter of an inch under the head. Feel the front of the neck working and tucking to lengthen the back of the head. And then release. We'll do that 2 more times like this, then we'll change positions. So tuck the chin into the throat. Lengthen out the back of the neck. Look toward your belly button. Push the chin towards the throat. Just hover a quarter of an inch. I want you to feel the front of the neck working. I'm working extra time trying to talk and do it at the same time. You may even push your chin by opening your jaw. Then notice the difference. And then release. We'll do 1 more time like this. Tuck the chin toward the throat. Lengthen out the back of the neck. Hover the head. And then maybe open the jaw by pushing your chin into the ball. Feeling feeling the core of the neck work. And then release. Keep that ball nearby because we're going to do this same thing now on our belly. So flip over onto your belly. Prop yourself up on your forearms. Take that chin, tuck it in towards the throat. Pull the head back like you're pulling your chin back to give you a double chin. And hold that ball there. Feel the back of the neck lengthen and extend so that you're reaching out the crown of your head and your gaze should be right between your thumbs. So now maintain that contraction here, engaging the neck musculature to work on keeping the head on top of the chin. Now let's get a little shoulder blade activation. We did this on our back, reaching towards the ceiling. So push the shoulder blades apart so that you're pushing the floor away with your forearms. And then drop down. And then do that again. Push the shoulder blades apart. Get a little lift in the mid-back between the shoulder blades. We worked a lot on spreading the shoulder blades. So now we're trying to get a little bit of activation there. And down. I remove the ball just so I could talk. If the ball becomes too much, you can take it out. Make sure your elbows are right under your shoulders and you're moving the shoulder blades on the rib cage. Shoulder blades on the rib cage. Shoulder blades push apart, lift the rib cage. Now push apart so much, push into the ball with your chin, and then you're pushing so much with your arms that it starts to lift the hip bones off of the floor. And you find that you're in this baby plank position. And as soon as you start to feel the hips lift, you should start to feel the quiver. Really push the floor away. Try not to lift from the back, but you're lifting by pushing the forearms into the floor. Keep the chin tucking, reaching long through the crown of your head, engaging out all of those postural muscles, and then release. Let go of the ball, pull the chest forward, look forward now. So now draw the shoulder blades down your back. We're coming to the opposite position now. Hands on the floor without moving the arms, just feel yourself drag back through the hands so that it pulls the collarbones wide and forward. Take a few breaths here. Think of your head as an extension of the spine. So the head is in neutral. So maybe shake the head no and nod the head yes a little bit to figure out where the head is in space. To make sure that the lifting isn't coming from the head, but it's coming through the chest bone. Jaw is soft, eyes are soft. Now let's come back into that baby plank again. Take the ball under the chin again so that you get that core of the neck working. Push the shoulder blades apart. Press your forearms into the floor so much that you start to round the space between the upper back, between the shoulder blades, and then it lifts the pelvis up so that you start to feel a quiver in your core. Keep breathing here. Really push the floor away with the whole forearm. If you can, keep the chin tucking with the ball. Feeling the whole front line, the stabilization for the whole core activate. And then release. Release the ball, chin comes forward, shoulders drop down and back. As the shoulders drop down and back, press your forearms into the floor still so that you can feel a rolling back of the shoulder blades. And then you're trying to drag the hands back as you pull the chest bone forward. Keep the pelvis and the tops of the feet pushing into the floor. So feel the thighs on the floor, the pubic bone on the floor, the tops of the feet on the floor, stable and grounded. And it's like you're trying to traction the upper body away. And then let's do one more round. Tuck the chin, use the ball if you can. Push the shoulder blades apart. Really push the floor away, push the floor away, push the floor away. So much that it starts to lift the hips. Try not to initiate it with the hips, but lift by pressing the floor away through the forearms. And then your belly starts to pull up. Your navel starts to pull up towards the elbows. Keep breathing here. You should feel yourself quiver immediately if you're doing it right. And then release. Hips to the earth. Press the tops of the feet into the earth. Front of the hips into the earth. Forearms into the earth, reversing that action. Now, maybe you can reach the arms out in front of you. So they come from on your elbows Press the pelvis into the floor, and then maybe push into your fingertips and let your arms come in front of you. And then try to drag the shoulder blades down your back. Think of the hands like a lady scratching the fingernails on the blackboard. I want you to feel that action of the hands. You're pushing down and pulling back with the hands. Here, really feel the shoulder blades engage. Keep the tops of the feet on the earth. Keep the whole belly on the earth. Just feel the shoulder blades drawing down the back. And then relax to the floor. Head turns one way. Arms maybe come down. We'll do that one more time. Take a couple breaths. And then arms reach up overhead again. Chin comes to the floor. Tense your fingertips. Feel your fingers press into the floor. As your fingers tense and press into the floor, feel the shoulder blades pull down like you're trying to put them in the back pockets of your pants. Keep the pelvis, tops of the thighs, tops of the feet, pressing into the floor. Draw the shoulder blades down towards your hips as you try to pull the chest bone forward to the wall in front of you. Keep your gaze right between the thumbs. Take 5 breaths here. Make sure you're breathing. One more breath. Let your head turn the other way now. Arms come by your side. And then we'll come into our final stretch. We just have one more stretch to complete right from your belly. This is a twisting stretch, which will be great for the back. It will be great for the chest. Integrate a lot of those same actions you've been working on today of extension through the spine and extension through the hips. So take your right arm out like a T. Place the palm on the floor like a capital T. Left hand comes under the left shoulder. Now you're going to rotate your body to the right so you start to lie on the right arm. Then your left leg is going to kickstand and you're going to push into your foot just like you're pushing into the bridge. Let your head relax. If it needs some support, you could put the foam roller under it. And now push away through the left knee. And then press the front of the right arm into the floor. Then you can stay here, or you can take the left hand and take the left hand behind your back. Maybe even place it in like the back of your pants to get a little hold of something. So that you're opening the whole front of the chest. And then now rotate to the other side, coming through center, slowly unwinds, maybe rock your hips a little bit in center. And then left arm out like a capital T. Start to bring your right hand underneath the right shoulder. Rotate back over the left side. If this doesn't feel right for you, maybe you just lie on your back and do a basic twist, a basic supine twist, knees to chest and twist, if that would feel better for you. Yeah, that's fine. Let the knees drop to one side, or take your foam roller under the knees if the knees don't make it to the floor. And if you're in this, sometimes they'll call it broken wing, this kind of backwards type twist, press through the right foot so that you feel the right hip reach forward and the right knee reach away. Right arm may hook behind the back. Take about 5 more breaths here. And when you feel complete, unravel to your belly. Rock your hips. If you're on your back already, you can stay there. And then if you're on your back, you can hug your knees to your chest. And if you're on your belly, bring your hands under your shoulders and just pause in child's pose. Taking a few breaths into the space between the shoulder blades, into the upper back, feeling how the shoulder blades fall apart from one another, feeling the head hang heavy. As the breath comes into the body, feel it ascend into the place between the shoulder blades like a balloon rising. If you're on your back, feel the breath fill into the body so it sinks into the back. Feeling the breath come and fill the back side of the body and rising up. Take a few more breaths wherever you are, feeling the movement in the upper back. How the breath expands in 360 degrees all around the rib cage. Cracking the collarbones open, the chest bone, and the shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, come on up, finding your way back to sitting. Thank you so much for joining. Please let me know if you have any questions.